Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle 3WA pre-show. I am the Big Alboski. Conspicuous by his absence is my broadcast colleague, Professor Keith, at the behest of my current guest at this time. One half of the 3WA Tag Team Champions, the ruiner of it all, JT Cage. What's up, Mr. Cage?
Your guest? Your guest at this time? No, I'm no guest. I am one of the co-hosts of this pre-show.
You weren't advertised.
Well, I'm advertising now. Hello.
Okay.
My name is the Sheriff of Hardcore of the 3WA. My name is the ruler of it all, JT Cage. And I demanded that the professor, I don't want to see his face. I don't want to see his face on the show until I say what I got to say.
Okay, what do
you test me?
No, I said, what do you got to say?
Well, if you let me talk, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Tonight, people are going to witness something. All right? Because I'm not in the mood, and as the sheriff in the law of the 3WA, I am holding court tonight. There have been several injustices that I have not even began to explain, but now I will. I will not be co-hosting this pre-show tonight because I have matters I need to take care of. But I want to tell you, one of those people who is being brought to the court of cage is you, Professor Keith. I know you're backstage watching this, but you are one of the people being brought to court and to task for what you did to me last show. You embarrassed me. People are calling it the slap heard around the world. You embarrassed me, and you're going to pay for that tonight. But that's not the only situation on the dockets. The rest you'll find out in Quakertown tonight. So with that, I leave you with your show, Alan. You make sure the professor comes correct, or it's going to be a bad day for him. Not a bad moon rising, but a bad day for him and Cage Court.
Well, on behalf of Around the Turnbuckle, I'd like to wish you good night. Wish you good luck tonight in your 6-man tag team match.
No. It's not a 6-man tag team match. It's a fight. That's going to be the other courtroom right there. There's lots of justice to be dealt out in Quakertown tonight. Now I can't wait. The ruler of the law, the sheriff is in town. You better ask somebody. You're damn right I'm going to win. My team, the original family, has been better than ever. We are the tag team champions. One day I will be the hardcore champion, but I'll address that tonight too.
All right, sir. We'll see you tonight.
Correct. You better come correct. You better lose that tone of voice of yours that you're thinking right now.
Okay.
Sick of it. I'm out.
All right. There he is, the ruiner of it all, JT Cage. There he goes. And let me bring on Professor Keith. And Keith, how you doing, brother?
You know, for a month on social media, I've had prank phone calls at my house. I've had threatening letters sent to me. I can't prove it's JT Cage and the original family. They're smart. They're good. But I know it's them. I know it's their minions. It could even be you, Al. I mean, you're one of our minions, right?
Oh, come on. Come on, Professor.
Bullying and harassment. And he wants to get on here and he wants to say he's a victim, that I owe him an apology. He's right. I shouldn't have put my hands on him, no matter how provoked I was. I shouldn't have done it.
Right.
But at the same time, as I've said, he embarrassed me in front of everyone in that building. He embarrassed me in front of my boy.
He did.
What was I supposed to do? He wants to end this once and for all tonight. He wants... JT Cage's court or wrestler's court or whatever he wants to call it.
Right.
If he wants to hash this thing out and end it once and for all, that's fine. Let's do it. I'll be in Quakertown. I accept.
Whoa. Hot and heavy are we, but it's around the turnbuckle. It's the 3WA pre-show. We're going to talk about the rest of the card, the court of JT Cage notwithstanding.
That's what it's really about. It's not about issues with me and him. It's about the show tonight.
But that's part of the show. I mean, you know, he's going to hold court. And I mean, you're not the only grievance he has. He has other grievances. So we're going to find out whatever he's got on his mind tonight in Quakertown. And, you know, you're my partner here on Around the Turnbuckle. You're my partner in Carnage. I just hope you do the right thing and then you stay sitting next to me and calling the action where you belong.
I hope so, too. I hope I never get put in a situation like that again.
Okay, that withstanding, we're going to talk about this card, brother, because, and on the bottom of the screen, fans, call that number, reserve your seats. They will go fast. Okay, they will absolutely go fast. So call that number, reserve your seat tonight. We will sell out Quakertown as 3WA always does. It is going to be a stacked card. And Keith and I will go over that entire card right now. We're going to talk about everything going on. We're going to start, Keith, with the women's champion, Autumn Breeze, will defend her title against Tiffany Avatar. As you remember, Professor, you were sitting right next to me calling this match last month. And they pretty much had a draw. They had a double pin.
Indeed, they did. Last month, no conclusive winner. Tiffany Avatar, Autumn Breeze taking each other to the limit. We've rarely seen Autumn Breeze tested the way she was tested last month. I commend 3WA management for signing this return match so quickly. It's very deserved. Tuning in with the High Impact Champion, who'll also be in action tonight.
There he is. We'll talk about his. Yes, we'll talk about his match momentarily. But first, I'd love your prediction on Tiffany Avatar, the Cotton Candy Princess, versus Autumn Breeze.
Well, we know we're going to have Tiffany Avatar on the show tomorrow, our regularly scheduled time.
Right here on this program.
You know, Tiffany Avatar showed such heart, such skill. I think glimpses of greatness last month. She may be Autumn Breeze's toughest test yet. However, the champion has so much experience on her side. She has crossed the 1-year mark as women's champion.
She has.
I'll have to go back and check, but I believe that may be a record here in the 3WA.
Okay.
Check my notes on that and get back to you tonight about that. But I mean, Autumn Breeze has had that air of inevitability as champion. It seems almost impossible to consider the idea that anyone might be able to beat her. But if anyone can do it, I think it might be Tiffany Avatar here tonight. Well said, Prince. Well said.
Prince, I'm on something, okay? You'll see my eyes later.
That sounds like, you know, the police up in Quakertown might be interested in hearing about that.
The challenger for said matchup is here also. There's Al Manchero. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, Prince Piranha. Good afternoon. So you're predicting the champion will retain before we move on, right?
I think it's always a hard bet to ever bet against Autumn Breeze in there. I think Autumn Breeze once again is going to be able to pull it off, maybe by the skin of her teeth, but I think Autumn Breeze will walk out the 3WA Women's Champion.
I think that tomorrow night on Around the Turnbuckle, we're going to be interviewing the brand new 3WA Women's Champion, Cotton Candy Princess Tiffany Avatar, because I think Autumn Breeze wasn't exactly ready for her last week or last month and almost lost the title, almost this close. So will Autumn Breeze be up to the task? I have no doubts in Autumn Breeze. You're right about not betting against her, but Tiffany Avatar is a star in the making, and I think that a victory over Autumn Breeze and capturing the 3WA Women's Championship is going to propel her to the stratosphere.
Well, absolutely it will. We know that, Al. I mean, look at Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander is a former 3WA Women's Champion. Nyla Rose is the former 3WA women's champion. Look at their career trajectory.
Sure.
Since then, I mean, you're talking about one of the most prestigious and oldest women's championships anywhere in our sport today. You want to be the 3WA. You want to be the 3WA women's champion. You want to be a champion, period, in 3WA.
Yep.
Because that is looked at. That is looked upon by the larger organizations, by the scouts, and by everyone else, and saying, okay, this is the real deal. This is something you want on that resume. So if Tiffany Avatar doesn't bring everything she's got to the table, huge opportunity missed. And to your point, Al, Autumn Breeze now has had a month to study that match, to study any other footage that's out there of Tiffany Avatar. I think you're right. I think Autumn maybe didn't have all her ducks in a row last month. A lot of times Autumn Breeze doesn't know who her opponent is until she gets to the building. A lot of her defenses are open challenge defenses.
Right.
Now she's had the time. She's known for quite some time now who she's going to be wrestling tonight. And I think that's going to make all the difference in the world. And it's going to be a different Autumn Breeze that shows up for this match tonight.
So since they're here and since they're saying hello to us, we'll talk about their match.
Yes.
Because last month, JCM challenged Mikey Raw and said, if I beat you, would you grant me a high-impact championship match? He did succeed. So therefore now the return match here in Quakertown tonight, the 3WA high-impact champion will defend against JCM. Will JCM be able to win when it counts, Professor?
You know, JCM has had such a journey the last 2 years, a horrific back injury, has worked his ass off to get back into the ring, just to be able to get back and have one match, let alone to get into a situation where now he is contending for a championship, for one of the most prestigious championships in the 3WA, the High Impact Championship.
Yep.
You know, it's no secret JCM's a friend. I talked to him many, many times throughout his injury, offered all the moral support I could, and he's come back better than ever and more focused than I've ever seen him. If Mikey Raw doesn't bring everything he's got to the table, JCM is going to take that championship. JCM is a phenomenal athlete. He is experienced in that ring, and we know how competitive the high impact title division has been.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey Raw is the only two-time high impact champion. So it is going to be a happening in Quakertown tonight. I know Mikey Raw is going to come ready and focused, but I don't know that it's going to be enough against JCM, who is hungry and who wants to prove that he came back for a reason and that gold is his destiny.
Well, speaking of friends of yours, there's a guy named Theo Ivory who's been out of action now for a little bit, taking the time out, and he addressed the fans. He addressed the fans and explained himself that it's not over, but he will return. When, we don't know. But tonight, what's next? What will Wyndham James Winthrop III do next to Theo Ivory? Has he not done enough? I mean, right there, that picture, that graphic you see right there, Professor, he is holding a picture of Theo Ivory's mother. And you know me, I usually love what the bad guys do, but I have to say that I was appalled at the actions of the Prime Minister of Professional Wrestling.
The man's gone too far. Pure and simple. He has gone too far. I still don't understand what goes through his mind. He cost himself and Theo Ivory the tag team championships, and he can say what he wants about participation trophies and I was the better partner. I think he was just flat out scared at the idea of having to face the Brotherhood with no rules. That's what I think, pure and simple. Everything that's happened since has been a disgusting and targeted attack upon Theo Ivory that I think is about jealousy. I think Wyndham looks at Theo Ivory and he looks at a man who can accomplish the kind of things that Wyndham only wishes he had accomplished within his career. It is jealousy against another talent and the depths that he has sunk to, the fact that he's still being given time to address and to attack Theo Ivory when Theo Ivory's not there. He's not in the building when Wyndham does this. And what does he tell you about Wyndham's level of courage? That he'll attack the man when he's not in the building, when he's not there to defend himself. Wyndham James Winthorpe III has a reckoning coming, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to see it.
Also tonight, Professor, the Carnage Championship semifinals. These 6 gentlemen right here: Trace Parker, Rose Gold Cody Rhodes, Nathaniel Cunningham, Damon Dante, Smooth Tom Mitchell, and the Dude are all be involved in the semifinals as we move closer and closer to crowning our first ever 3WA Carnage champion.
Indeed, we do. Of course, we don't know what the brackets are just yet. We don't know how we're going to be determining how our semifinals are going to go down. We don't know who's going to be taking on who in this situation. What we do know is that by the end of tonight, we will know the 2 men that will be in the finals. And next month, we're going to know who is the Carnage champion.
Yep.
As you see, an impressive collection of talent there. Cody Rhodes, of course, with the experience advantage over his other 5 competitors. But you've got Nathaniel Cunningham, and of course, I'm sure he's bringing the Donnie Bambino. You can't trust the bad fellas when they're together. We saw that last month. Kudos to management for not throwing that one out completely and actually trying to do as best they could to do the right thing in that one.
Yes.
The Dude, of course, has a connection with the crowd like no other. He's also on an amazing winning streak right now. I mean, what a rookie year he has had so far.
Really?
Think about it, right? He's practically undefeated so far. I mean, I know he has lost a match or 2 here and there, but practically undefeated other than that, and holds victories over Wyndham James Winthorpe III, one of the prestigious and elite 3-year club for the 3WA Heavyweight Championship. Nobody has ever held that championship longer than 3 years.
Yep.
And the names that he is associated with in that club, it's a who's who of professional wrestling.
Yep.
And also last show, to move on and to advance to the semifinals, he pinned fans, the Jersey Shore Madman Slayer. I can count on one hand and have fingers left over the number of people that I can remember.
Well, let me address Piranha's question here. Piranha, so there were a series of matches over the past few shows in 3WA, which led us to 6 semifinalists. Now, 3WA management has not let the professor or I know what happens here in the semifinals. We have talked about it, though. Obviously, we'll have singles matches between those 6 gentlemen. We'll have 3 separate singles matches, and the winners advance. And then maybe you have a triple threat final, or you could have 2 sets of triple threat matches, and you can have a one-on-one final. Either way, in August, on August the 26th, we will crown a brand new, first time ever 3WA Carnage Championship, a championship named after the show that the professor and I both are very proud of, and we cannot wait to see who that first champion is. And obviously, after going through all this tournament, they're going to earn that championship, no matter who it is.
Absolutely. And of course, we know what Nice and Smooth are capable of. 2 incredible, impressive athletes on the rise. And let's not forget about Damon Dante. The Jersey Madman, Damon Dante.
Yeah.
I hate to steal one from Slayer, but I mean, when you think about just nonstop action in the vein of a Jeff Hardy or a Darby Allin, somebody like that, somebody that just is willing to put his body on the line and throw caution to the wind, man, what a semifinal. It's impossible to predict who's going to be moving on from this one.
I'm not even going to try, and I'm not even going to ask you to try. We're just going to enjoy it, and we can't wait to call those matches, whether they be 3 separate singles matches or 2 separate triple threat matches. We don't know, but we'll find out. Also, speaking of 6-man tags, we have announced last month the original family, JT Cage, Top Shelf Tyler Sims and Marvelous Malcolm King versus the aforementioned Slayer, Roadblock, Chad McCoy, and the 3WA heavyweight champion, main event Michael Mars. This one we can predict, Professor. What do you think's going to happen here in Quakertown?
You talk about grudge matches. You talk about personal situations. You talk about combustible elements. You've got all of that in this match. The original family has pissed off, frankly, everybody in the 3WA locker room for years. Michael Mars, of course, has had his issues with Tyler Sims. Tyler Sims, his friend, growing up, they've known each other forever. Tyler Sims tried to end Michael Mars' career. Of course, JT Cage is a thorn in everybody's side. And Marvelous Malcolm King has had his problems up and down the line with any of these gentlemen. Of course, you have to think, if someone were to be able to pin main event Michael Mars in this, they'd have an argument for being, next in line for the 3WA Heavyweight Championship. But the question mark that I think is involved in this match, and I know the original family is going to get mad when I say it, but it's news, it's relevant. What is going on with Top Shelf Tyler Sims and the family? The hat guy cost Tyler Sims the 3WA Heavyweight Championship 2 shows ago. Last show, Malcolm King speared Top Shelf Tyler Sims. I'm sure he's going to claim it was an accident. I'm not so sure. You really have to wonder what Tyler Sims' status is, especially because we know Tyler Sims has not been seen around the compound, and the original family has found it increasingly more difficult to get a hold of Top Shelf Tyler Sims.
By their own admission, I can't deny that. By the hat guy's own admission, he has said emphatically that he can't get a hold of Top Shelf Tyler Sims, but he also denies that there's any dissension there. I guess we're going to have to find out is the key thing there. But if they're not all on the same page, they're in for a long night against Slayer and Roadblock and Mike Mars.
They absolutely are, especially Slayer. You don't think he's forgotten for 1 minute that bounty that the hat guy put on his head, or the chicanery that the original family did, getting him committed and costing him months and months of his career.
No, sir. All right. So announced just today on social media, the Toxic King Rico Hendricks has issued an open challenge. An open challenge, and he called it, let me bring this up because he called it something specific. The Rico Hendricks High Value Man Open Challenge. Basically, this means that Rico Hendricks will be in Quakertown tonight, and he and Dazzling Derek, his manager, are going to basically say, anybody in the back want to get taught a lesson? Let your Toxic King teach it to you. What do you think?
Well, we know Rico Hendricks, of course, has the highest opinion of himself humanly possible. We know Dazzling Derek Benish has the lowest possible opinion of Quakertown possible. But I have to question the wisdom in going into a 3WA. And we know the caliber of talent that competes in the 3WA, and we know the caliber of talent that sometimes comes in as a surprise into a 3WA. I think it's borderline insane for anyone to show up to that building and throw it out there and say, open challenge, anybody who feels froggy, come jump.
Right. I agree.
But I credit Rico Hendricks for his bravery. I have to do that.
I can't disagree with what you said, but it's Rico Hendricks. And to me, Rico Hendricks can do whatever Rico Hendricks wants to do. And no matter who that person is, I don't care who you are, you're in for a fight. Good luck. Because if you answer that challenge, you're in for a fight with Rico Hendricks.
Absolutely. Rico Hendricks is a phenomenal athlete. He's an amazing professional wrestler. His tactics are terrible. His attitude is disgusting. But Rico Hendricks can back it up in that ring. So whoever comes out there tonight, you're in for a fight. you're in for a workout, and you're going to remember Rico Hendricks.
Bob Bushman's here, and he says Prince Piranha needs to accept this, or Merrick Miami. Well,
yeah,
we'll see about that. I don't know if either one of those gentlemen will be in Quakertown tonight, but if they are, you never know. That's why you come to 3WA. You never know what you're going to see. Same as SWO. When we're in SWO, Bob, you're down there. You never know what you're going to see. 3WA is the same way. When you come to Quakertown, call that number on the bottom of your screen, guys, and reserve your seat and come join me and the professor. Come hang out and see some great 3WA wrestling action. We got one more thing to talk about, Professor. We got one more thing, and that has been brewing for months.
Yep.
For months. The fans have wanted it. You and I have talked about it a lot. You and I have been dying to call it. Bob Bushman has been running his mouth forever about Top Dawg Alan Clayball, the 3WA Extreme Champion, defending his championship against Tommy Vecs, the guy who caused him to lose his hair a few months ago in a hair versus hair match in a 3 stages of hell. And as per Vice President Katie Cahagas, she said, fall number 1 is just a plain one-on-one singles match. Fall number 2 is a no disqualification, anything goes. And if they get to fall number 3, that is a tables match, Professor.
Indeed it is. We know this situation is beyond personal right now between Alan Clayball and Tommy Vecs. Of course, this began about trying to win the vacant, at the time, 3WA Extreme Championship. It then spiraled into an incredibly personal situation. Tommy Vecs, of course, shaving the top dog's head. We've seen situations where cars have been sabotaged. People have been attacked in the parking lot. We've been trying to have this match for at least, 3 months now, maybe. And every time it seems like something has happened. I've been told that both men have been sequestered. They are under armed guard. And we are scheduled to have this match finally here tonight and end this situation. But Al, I mean, with the stipulations of what's going on, you've got the potential for this match. Somebody could be hurt. Seriously, we could see a career ended. I mean, this is going to be all about strategy, but it's also going to be all about violence. And these two men do not like each other. And at least with the latter 2 falls, they are now in a situation where, frankly, they could end each other's careers if they really wanted to.
My question is, with these 2 guys, like you said, it is a rivalry that matches no other in the 3WA. And it's been going on for months, and the fans have been dying for this 3 stages of hell match. The Extreme Championship is always defended in either a 2 out of 3 falls or a triple threat match. In this case, it's 2 out of 3 falls. If we get to the 3rd fall, somebody's going through a table. Yeah. And the other extra element added onto this, will Scumdog Sage Matthews be there? Absolutely. Will Mary Elizabeth be there? We don't know. Neither one of them have been advertised. If you see that graphic, you see Alan Clayball, you see Tommy Vecs. Those guys will be there. Will those other 2 people be there? I don't know. But that adds a whole nother element to this.
Absolutely. They would be the X factors if they're involved in this matchup. Of course, we know Scumdog Sage Matthews isn't above getting involved. He isn't above any kind of distraction. And if you look at the latter 2 falls, there's no disqualification there. If they decided they wanted to make this into a handicap match, they could absolutely do that if they wanted to.
Right.
So I would hope that 3WA management is going to put the Scumdog and Mary Elizabeth, but at least the Scumdog, in the back where he belongs, or bar him from the building completely.
Prediction time, Professor, because we've only been able to predict a couple of these matches. You know, we didn't really predict Mikey Rawl versus JCM. We kind of glossed over that. Are you predicting that one to be a successful title defense for Mikey Rawl? Because you did predict a successful title defense for Autumn Breeze.
I do think Autumn Breeze is going to just make it out of there with the championship. However, I know El Manchero. I know what he's been through. I know how hard he's worked to get here. I have nothing but respect for Mikey Raw and the kind of champion that he's been. But I think tonight El Manchero is going to be able to pull it out.
Philadelphia all the way. Mikey Raw retains. That's my opinion. As for the women's championship, it's coming to the Cotton Candy Princess. Now, 3 stages to hell, Professor. On the record, top dog Alan Clayball or Tommy Vecs?
Clayball, of course, is very underrated as a single, I think. People really forget just how good he is. A former SWO Unlimited champion and really one of the best Unlimited champions we've seen in some time in the way he carried that championship. Also one of the dirtiest players in the game, but I think a lot of that's neutralized here tonight with the ability of winning just the situation, the rules of a no disqualification match and a table match. Tommy Vecs is mad. Tommy Vecs is motivated. And I think people look at Tommy Vecs and they see the fun-loving guy and, you know, he's a little out there. He's a little different. You know, you talk to Tommy, it's an interesting conversation. But when push comes to shove, when the bell rings, Tommy Vecs is a highly decorated athlete himself. Of course, he's a former 3WA high-impact champion.
He is.
Right. I think Tommy Vecs is motivated enough that Tommy Vecs may be able to be the man that slays the dragon tonight and takes the 3WA Extreme Championship away from Alan Clayball.
I couldn't disagree more.
Of course.
Top dog Alan Clayball retains. He will find a way. He always finds a way. The only time he didn't find a way is when the title wasn't on the line. His hair was. And that wasn't his fault. That was Sage Matthews' fault.
And Sage Matthews, of course, the man that put his hair up in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Alan Clayball gets the job done one way or another. Whether Sage Matthews is there or not, he gets the job done tonight. And then he might have to address his partner because I don't think he's completely forgiven him for all the comments he gets from the fans and you about his haircut or lack thereof.
I haven't said anything about Alan Clayball. I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on.
What?
Do you people hear what I'm hearing?
I just said the man's name, Alan Clayball. That's his name.
With a D at the end. You say Alan Clayball. Duh.
You mean you mean the D in his name is silent? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on.
Sorry.
Bald is beautiful. Yeah, Bob. You and I. Yeah, bald is beautiful. Let me put that up there. Yes, Bob. We know this. All right. God forbid the professor.
So then why doesn't Mr. Clayball?
Yeah.
Recognize and live his truth. You know, there's nothing wrong with a shaved head. There's nothing wrong with being bald. Just live your truth, Mr. Clayball. Just live your truth.
All right. Enough of that. All right. Anyway, my point to all that was when the title wasn't on the line was the only time he lost over the past, 6 months in 3WA. He is the 3WA.
They've had some ups and downs in the tag division as well.
Singles matches, I'm talking, Professor. Let's not talk about Dog Nation versus Arion and the Barbarian. That nightmare. That was ridiculous.
Or Carlito and Chris Masters. I'm sure they'd like to forget that little challenge.
I'm saying singles matches. Singles matches, Alan Clayball has been on top. So my point is that
he has been a slippery dog.
My point is that tonight will be no different with that championship on the line, which means more to him than his hair, obviously, because he will hold on to it. And that's my prediction.
Well, I mean, that's all he's got left at this point. He's lost the locks. Now it's all about the gold.
Unbelievable. Plus, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, fans, before we get out of here, don't forget that tonight in Quakertown, the court of JT Cage, where he judges all his grievances, including my broadcast colleague who slapped him dead in the face as Michael Mars held him back at the last show. So, I mean, the professor, I got to give you credit, Professor, what you said at the beginning of this show, that if he calls you to the ring, if he calls you out in the court, if he calls you to the court, you're going to oblige.
I just want this situation to be over with. I want the harassment to stop. I want the bullying to stop. Move on.
I want my partner sitting next to me calling these matches. So whatever it takes for that to happen, please make that happen. That's all I'm saying.
Now we'll see what Mr. Cage has to say.
We absolutely will. Fans, tonight in Quakertown, come hang out with me and the professor. Doors open at 6. Tickets are $20, I believe. So I was told that the front row is sold out. So $20. Reserve your tickets. Call 215-362-7184 and reserve your seat because they go fast. Don't wait till you get to Qmart and stand in line and hope you get a seat. They will go fast. That 3 stages of hell match alone is worth the price of admission. That's going to be out of this world amazing, with 2 very talented local wrestlers here in Pennsylvania. So come on down and join me, the professor, JT Cage and the Original Family, Roadblock, Main Event, Michael Mars, Wyndham James Winthrop III, and everybody at the 3WA. You will not regret it, and you will enjoy yourselves. Professor, you got any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to remind the fans, if you want front row for the next show, because Al's right, it does sell out, and it is the first thing to sell out. Come to the show, reserve them tonight. That is your best bet, because
for August.
Because anybody who comes to the show tonight, you will have first dibs to be able to reserve those front row seats for our August show. We know we're going to be crowning a 3WA high impact
Carnage.
A 3WA Carnage champion. The first one ever at that show. That alone is going to be history in the making. What other title matches could we have on the line? What's going to happen after the 3 stages of hell match? Are we going to have a new women's champion by then? So many questions will be answered. You don't want to miss tonight. You don't want to miss August. You don't want to miss any 3WA show.
Nope.
Come down to Quakertown. Let's have a blast.
Let's have a blast. Bring the kids, why don't you? We'll have a great time. They will have a great time. I guarantee you there. All right, guys. Professor and I will be calling the action live. To see episodes of 3WA Carnage, go to the 3WA YouTube channel and subscribe, and you'll get all the episodes, past, present, and future of 3WA Carnage. They have been dropping faster and faster now because now we are at the events calling the action live. So that brings it to you a lot quicker. Also, catch Around the Turnbuckle tomorrow, Sunday at 6, with me and the professor are sitting and in the hot seat having a conversation with the Cotton Candy Princess, Tiffany Avatar. Will she have a championship to show us? I don't know. We'll find out.
She'll have a story to tell.
One way or the other, absolutely. So we're looking forward to talking to Tiffany. In the meantime, we'll see everybody that's going to be there. We will see you tonight in Quakertown. For the professor, I'm Big Al. We'll catch you there.
You think you know me?
Oh, yeah. Hey, yes, man. Calculations are correct.